recorded stuff that you could
Oh,
watch,
yeah.
you know, movies and some shows and things. But
Occasionally they'll do, depending on the airline, they'll do some live TV, especially sports. But that's yeah.
yeah, they didn't even mention it when we landed.
I'm not convinced I know how to read. I've just memorized a lot of words.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
True. All life ends in death, which we, as a species, are cursed with knowing, resulting in something. Again, this is really not my field.
When you want to talk sports, you ask folks who have seen it all up close. So on The Al Travis Show, we go with the guys at the end of the bench. Time to talk all things sports.
Lucky to have them back, and back as a group. We've got them, John and Dan, both the guys from the end of the bench. Appreciate them being here. Before we get to the fun and the revelry, let's discuss some things going on here. John, you're back from vacation. Thanks for being here. How was it? Can you tell us what you did?
It was absolutely wonderful. Great weather. It was funny in Hawaii because it was hot and the natives were complaining that it should be fall. And it was in the upper 80s, near 90s. So it was kind of funny listening to them complain about that. But a great time. Great food.
And it was a cruise.
Yes. It was
Okay.
a cruise from Vancouver, Canada. We flew to Vancouver, Canada. And you spend 7 days steaming towards Hawaii. And then we stopped at the Big Island 2 times. And we ended in Honolulu on Oahu.
Do they do cruises just around Hawaii? Can you fly into Hawaii and cruise around? I mean, it seems like a 7-day float. Ooh.
There's one company, I think it's Norwegian, that has exclusive rights to sail solely around Hawaii.
Interesting.
Other cruise ships have to stop there, but you
Okay.
can book a cruise and it'll stop all around.
Glad to have you back, my boy. Dan, first weekend of the big play. How did it go? Everybody remember their lines? Were people thrilled with it? What? And that's what we worry about, right?
Yeah, we had a couple. We had a couple of moments that didn't, they're never as bad as everyone thinks they are, but as the performers think they are. But it's it went really well. We had pretty good turnout for the opening.
Okay.
A lot of fun, lots of success. Nobody injured. That's an important part of this whole thing too.
55 and above theater, you got to worry about stuff like that. No one pulled a hammy.
Well, because one of the rehearsals last week, I actually fell, and I actually fell when trying to lean down to pick up a hat that someone had dropped. So of course that's what you do in the theater. You don't want to just leave it there because it becomes a play about a hat now. So suddenly I'm my 25-year-old self, and I'm just gonna try to do like a nice smooth, just while I'm walking, step down, just lean down, grab it up, and pick it up and swoop it, and that did not happen.
And they were all mad at you for upstaging them too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
my big moment.
It went well. Let's get people there. You got 2 more weekends to go, correct?
4 weekends. Yep, theater55.org for Sweeney Todd in Gremlin Theater in St. Paul.
All right. So we'll keep promoting that. We'll do it again on Friday. Get your tickets today. A little self-promotion, if we may take a moment out of your sports time. You guys know Don Shelby, news guy?
Yeah.
He's coming. He's on the show in an hour. He's going to come on a regular. I couldn't believe it. We had him on because he was doing the Chanhassen thing, love letters with Nancy Nelson, and we've had him on a couple times. Really love giving him a hard time. And so I just texted him and said, Don, you should come on. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. Now he's retired. Come on, let's just talk Don Shelby stuff. He goes, let's give it a shot. So he's coming on. We'll just see how that goes. So a little self-promotion there. I've got Don Shelby on the show. Take that, America. Oh,
dang it. I got to work. I'm going to have to listen to the replay. I'm going to have to listen and watch the replay.
There you go. Listen and watch the replay. Great segue, Dan. Man, you're good at this radio thing. So I could not watch the game on Sunday. It was 8:30 again. I've got all my problems with that 8:30 thing, but I had church and my church group. So I'm not going to get home till almost noon. Game's already over. I know my family and friends. I know Facebook. I know the X. This crap's going to be posted, as we go. So I texted some friends, said, I am radio silent. At 8:20, I put my phone away in the other room, and I walked away. Terribly hard to do. So then I get home, can't turn the phone on, because, now all the stuff's there. So literally, I go in the living room, sit down. I didn't wear my lucky shirt. I didn't smoke the victory cigar because, let's be honest, the game was already done. So my luck wasn't going to help. So I watched through the whole game, not able to text anybody, not to get excited, just sit in a room. Oh, my God. Solitary confinement must be holy heck. I was going crazy. No one to talk to, no one to chat with. What a game. Your thoughts? Did you guys watch it live? Were you able to, John? You're on the road.
No, I was in the plane, and the pilot didn't even give an update when we landed. I was kind of mad about that. I found out as soon as I got off the plane.
All right. How about you, Dan? You get to watch it?
I was able to watch. I will admit I didn't get the 8:30 kickoff, but I didn't get the 8:38. But I did watch a little bit of live in the morning, but then I had to get ready to go. So I listened to most of the fourth quarter, like the second half of the fourth quarter on the radio. And so that was, so you get, and honestly, the most exciting part of the game. Although I have to say, a lot of amazing individual performances, even when they weren't scoring a lot. So like Jefferson was just going nuts even before the big drive, and it was fun to watch.
Things that were interesting. If we sat here and I talked to you on Friday and I said this game's going to go like this. We're going to lose the turnover battle by 2-0. They're going to score 7 points on at least one of those. We're going to get a field goal blocked by a cable wire, a television cable wire that's going to cost us 3 points. How they didn't see that is beyond me. You watch it now online, that thing just going right down there, and wing, it takes a right turn. And they didn't see the cord go, wong. So anyway, and then I would tell you that we were going to have Addison, our second receiver, sit out the entire first quarter due to the fact that he was out partying with some rapper guy until 5 a.m, missed the team meeting, so he had to sit, and then that Thielen would have no catches. That Carson Wentz in the first half would get hit so hard trying to make a 7-yard run that they thought he was out of the game. Yeah. And I told you we'd still win. Would you believe it? I mean, everything was stacked against us in this loss. Win.
No, it was not. That was absolutely. And I will give, really, I'd say kind of the unsung heroes for this game are the guys that we have been maligning all year so far.
I wrote it down. Finally, an offensive line, the same people, but they did something. And I'll give the coach credit. We started out with some very quick plays to the outside. We are not going to give them time to come get us. But wow, the offensive line. See what can happen? I'm telling you, Wentz is a decent quarterback when given the time. John?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing about that offensive line even out in Hawaii, and they were much maligned because it was sort of described as patchwork, third string, thrown together, big liability. But lo and behold, can't put anything by these boys. And
I can't jump off one big game.
We're going to talk about this.
What? Go ahead.
But Philadelphia lost. Philadelphia lost.
Yes. We'll get there. With the game, and Dan, you watched just the fourth quarter. I don't know if you noticed, but Darrisaw, we're doing okay. The line's holding up. And in the fourth quarter, because of the number of reps we had, they sat Darrisaw down because that was the plan. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But they held up, and they actually had that 3-minute long, all the way down touchdown run without him there. It was fun, really fun.
I was like, I still want this explained to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
The one guy that makes this thing work, and you say, well, he's had 76 reps. We're going to sit him. I was stunned. But again, they came through and they did really well. I even thought the defense giving up 17 points when 7 of those was on a fumble when we were going down. I thought the defense had a decent day. Wasn't really a lot of showboaty stuff. They handled it. We got to figure something out on the run, though. I don't know. But I guess I could look it up how many yards running they had, but they killed us. Judkins had 110 yards himself.
But that was, but he was really their only serious weapon.
Yeah, and when we needed to shut him down, we did. You are absolutely correct.
So that's when that final do or die drive from the Browns at the end of the game. It's like, well, they can't use their running back, so I'm feeling pretty good about this.
What do you think of Cam Akers getting 1 for 1 in his passing and TD? It's so wild. I'm not a big fan of the trick play. It makes me think you're not able to do anything. But he sold this run. They ran up. I could have thrown that TD. It's 10 yards over this group's head, and it was a touchdown. I got to give the coach credit. I like a good trick play when it works.
Apparently, O'Connell loves the guy throwing the ball. So he does a lot of reps in practice throwing the ball.
Yeah, and they have something where he coached him before or something. Yeah, I heard that too. What do I care? It worked. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, he threw like 10 times.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, so I would say he threw like 10 times in college and was.
Yeah. That's not something you're going to pull out every game or even every other game, but it's nice to have in the bag when the situation calls for it. And that was perfect. It's something you can watch over and over and go, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. So what was the game you wanted to talk about? Who lost?
Philadelphia,
that's right. So they are down. That's great. They lose to the Broncos 21-17. Your thoughts now with the bye? All of a sudden now we hear that J.J. Jeffers' ankle might take a little longer to heal. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Wentz just won one for us. We got 2 weeks off. Front line can possibly heal up. Things can only get better. Do you throw in the kid against the Eagles? Dan? Coaches.
Plus, it's Wentz's old team, too. Or at least the team that at least I associate most with Carson Wentz is is the Eagles. So I don't know. I think no. I would say no, but I don't know. I don't know how much O'Connell plays to the injuries will never cost a guy his job sort of thing. But
it doesn't cost him his job. It just delays his comeback for a little while. He's getting paid. All right, he's not losing any cash. Oh, we got a guy who's hot, a guy who, with a busted shoulder, did the winning drive thing. I think you ride it, John. What do you think?
I think you do, too. You at least start Wentz, play him through the half, see how it goes. Yep. Maybe you bring JJ in for a series because he's going to need some time to shake his rust off, even though he was kind of shaking that off in the start of the season, too.
Rust. The kid's got like 2 whole games under his belt in 2 years. He's rust.
Yeah.
He's a new shiny car.
Depending on what happens with Philadelphia next week, I can't remember who they play, but, this could be quite a matchup because we could be looking to go 4-2. Right now, we're in the second wild card spot. I know it's early to talk about, but we're a quarter of the way through the season. Right? We're a quarter of the way through.
They play the Giants on looks like Sunday Night Football. That's who they play. Or Thursday Night Football. They got time to rest up. All right, I got to go to break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the University of Minnesota. I don't want to talk much about it, but it is everything we thought it would be. More after this.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together conservatives, liberals, independents, and others to restore trust, respect, and goodwill in politics. We seek not to eliminate our differences, but rather deal with them head on, with respect and understanding. We do not try to change people's views, but how they view the other side. There will always be differences. Braver Angels Minnesota believes the best way forward is to change how we deal with those differences. Join the civil conversation at mn.braverangels.org.
Achieving your financial goals requires individual planning and a comprehensive approach. At Midwest Money Management, our mission is to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Learn more at MidwestMoneyManagement.com. That's MidwestMoneyManagement.com.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc., Midwest Money Management, and JW Cole Financial Inc. and JW Cole Advisors Inc. are unaffiliated entities.
don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on The Al Travis Show.
And we've got them, the guys at the end of the bench, John and Dan. I believe I'm quoting, paraphrasing, I guess. A great defensive back for the University of Minnesota after trouncing all over the Sisters of the Poor. We have the best defense in the league. We can go up against anybody. And then the Gophers came to town. Ohio State, we had a 66-yard drive, the very first drive, got a field goal out of it. We were there. From that moment on, it was 42-0 Ohio State. This John, you're shaking your head. We knew that was going to happen. They had to know it was going to happen. The talk has got to stop. Man up. Let's see what happens before we talk too much schmack.
Yeah, I texted a buddy of mine who's a sports nut, and I said, I don't expect a win, obviously. I said, I just hope that they don't embarrass themselves or, show so many mistakes that they just give up the game. If they're at least competitive, if they lose by 2 to 3 touchdowns, yeah, we hate the term moral victories, but I'd be like, okay, they're playing in the horseshoe. It's a tough place. We got a young team, but oh my gosh, this reminds me of that Nebraska debacle back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And Dan's laughing at that.
Dan, this shows us how far University of Minnesota football is from being anything near the top, the cream de la creme, right? I mean, this shows us what we are. We're not there. Nowhere near.
But yeah, honestly, I think I'd agree with John. What I was kind of thinking of is what I was kind of hoping for is maybe like a 27-10. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Which still a beating, still a pretty,
right.
Still a clear loss, but it's but not an embarrassment. This was an embarrassment, and it's there's a long way to go.
Now, if you were the guys putting this on television, though, is this the game you put on nationwide TV? Who was watching, except Ohio State fans? Who was watching this by the time it was halftime? It was a terrible choice for ball games to make it a Sunday evening game or Saturday evening game.
The opening drive wasn't bad, even though it ended in 3 points. They ran and executed the plays, and they kind of marched down the field until you had a little hope. Unfortunately, that hope lasted the length of the drive, about 5 minutes. So
yeah, it was over. All right. We're going to run out of time. I love you guys on the program. Dan, one more time, where can I get tickets for the big play? Let's get some folks showing up.
It's Sweeney Todd Musical Theater55.org over the next 2 weekends.
And where is the actual play at? Where's Theater 55 as far as location?
Gremlin Theater. This particular one's at the Gremlin Theater in St. Paul. It's right off of 280 and I-94 in St. Paul.
Easy enough to find. Theater 55, get your tickets today. Boys, appreciate you being here. Get you guys back on Friday.
Thank you.
Guys, the end of the bench on the Al Travis Show.
When the stakes are high at the Minnesota Capitol, you need more than a lobbyist. You need a partner. At Momentum Advocacy, we